Alright, YouTube, it's time for Occult Literature video number 53, How to Speak with the Dead, an interesting work from the early 20th century. Now, first and foremost, yes, this is out of order with the other editions that I've spoken of within this playlist. That's because I deleted an old edition that nobody was buying. It was this one edition. Nobody ever bought it. I'm like, I must have done something wrong somewhere along the way with tagging or with the title or something. So I just took it down. I'm like, why even bother at this point? Link in the description as always, where you can purchase my edition of this work off of Amazon, a second link to my books blog. If you're interested in this sort of kind of quasi-academic material, the how-to stuff, I put it in the mysticism category with the folk magic and so forth. You can check out my blog. There are many other books available, works that I've edited, works that I've authored, and so forth, almost all of which are on occult topics. Some of them cross over with politics, though, as well. And then there's After the Ashes, which is strictly political. This work is a little bit longer than some competing titles from the era. It's about 93 pages in length. And it's very good. It manages to do what, let's face it, relatively few works of that particular era actually accomplished. It straddles the line between spiritualism and rationalism. You know, sort of the more spiritual side versus the more secular side. It straddles those two and almost fuses them at times. And it does so successfully and convincingly. Most works from the era are either strictly anti-theistic, anti-spiritualistic, anti-religious, pro-science rhetoric, or they're totally anti-science. Oh, these scientists, you know, basically like a Frankenstein thing. Oh, they're trying to rule the world, destroy us all, and they're monsters. And spirituality as well, where it's at ultimately. That's what many works from late 1800s, early 1900s really do. This work primarily revolves around seances. Seances coupled with a bit about channeling and the psychic arts as well, sort of wrapped up together under the general topic of what could amount to quasi-necromancy when you really think about it. This is the sort of necromancy people had in mind. Really during the era. Well, I want to speak to dead people. I want to speak to the departed. It was taken on faith that souls existed. It was preeminently believed by individuals around this time period. Yeah, there is a soul. Yeah, we can sort of quantify it as well. It has a couple of experiments listed in there that I didn't quite understand due to the descriptions given. It had something to do with communicating with spirits, I suppose. But it's not exactly maybe the most compelling evidence of the existence of a spirit world, but at the same time, quite interesting that it was recorded at the time. It alludes to numerous secondary works as well, some works by Raymond and others. Raymond Lully, I believe. But it's rather interesting. If you want to read about sort of this Victorian, late Victorian, Edwardian period, the spirituality that was in vogue at the time. Really, you're talking about psychic stuff, seances, and things related to them. That's really where it was at the time. And I've delved into some degree of material on these subjects. This is one of the better works, honestly. As far as its literary quality, its descriptions of specifically how to channel, how to conduct a seance, and it goes into a little bit of actually debasement of some of the practices of the time. For instance, seances at the time, most of the time it was considered that you needed to hold the hands of your fellow congregants because of some sort of electrical ethereal current or protoplasm or something like that, ectoplasm. He actually, the author here, who is largely anonymous, he calls himself Sciens, but we're not sure exactly who was responsible for penning it. He actually opposes this, says, no, you don't have to link hands. No, you don't have to have musical instruments present. No, you don't have to have a paper and pen, but it's helpful, and some of these other things. So if you're interested in conducting seances, this is the work for you. Rather interesting. So again, link to my edition of this work on Amazon and a second link to my books blog. There's something for everybody there if you're interested in literally any aspect of human spirituality. There's everything from ancient alchemy all the way up to late pre-modern materials on subjects such as this. That's about all. Peace out.